Sarah, also known as Fergie by friends and royal fans, described the wedding of her eldest daughter as a beautiful family occasion. Edoardo and Beatrice got married on July 17 last year at the Royal Chapel in Windsor, just a few minutes away from Windsor Castle and the Royal Lodge. The pair were initially meant to tie the knot in May 2020 and hold a reception in the gardens at Buckingham Palace. But the coronavirus pandemic forced the couple to cancel their initial plans. Rather than waiting for restrictions to be lifted, the loved-up pair decided to tie the knot in July, in front of a handful of guests including the Queen and Prince Philip. Sarah told the Telegraph Magazine, "Beatrice's wedding was very different from Eugenie's wedding, as thousands of other people's had to be during the pandemic. It was an intimate and beautiful family occasion." All the guests attending the nuptials remained tight-lipped in the run-up to Beatrice's big day, surprising royal fans who discovered Edoardo and Beatrice had tied the knot only after the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh were spotted travelling from Windsor Castle to the nearby chapel. In accordance with the COVID-19 restrictions in place at the time, all guests who were not in the same bubble or household were socially distanced. Among them were Beatrice and Edoardo's families, with the property developer's young son Christopher acting as both the pageboy and the groom's best man. The day after the secret wedding, Buckingham Palace released only 3 official pictures. 2 showed only the newlyweds outside the chapel. The third depicted Philip and the Queen smiling and looking proudly at the couple. Beatrice paid tribute to the Queen with the choice of her wedding dress and tiara. Her gown was a vintage Norman hartnell she borrowed from Her Majesty. The headpiece chosen by Beatrice, also loaned from the Queen, was the Queen Mary's diamond fringe tiara which the sovereign wore on her wedding day with late Prince Philip. 1 year after their wedding, Edoardo and Princess Beatrice are expecting their first baby, set to be the Queen's 12th grandchild. In her wide-ranging interview, the Duchess of York also briefly mentioned Princess Eugenie's wedding with Jack Brooksbank, held in October 2018. On her big day, celebrated in front of more than 800 guests at St. George Chapel, Eugenie ditched the veil and chose a low-back gown by Peter Pilotto and Christopher DeVos to show the scar resulting from her scoliosis operation. Fergie said, "It was one of the proudest moments of my life to see her standing tall and strong down that aisle, showing her scoliosis scar to the world." The Duchess, who joined the royal family by marriage in 1986 but divorced from Prince Andrew 10 years later, opened up on how she brought up her 2 beloved daughters. She said, "I think being a good mother is about listening. It's about taking action when you need to, and it's about integrity. Whenever one of my girls had a bad day, I used to shut the door, turn the phone off and really focus on what they wanted to tell me. We still do that to this day. Instead of simply telling a child something, I always found it best to try to lead by example." Sarah, who is already the author of more than 70 books, is preparing for the launch of her first ever novel, Her Heart for a Compass. It follows the heavily fictionalized story of Lady Margaret Montagu Douglas Scott, the Duchess' great-great-aunt. The idea for the book came to Fergie after researching her ancestry for an episode of the BBC's Who Do You Think You Are?, which never got beyond the pre-production stage.